Yeah, the lights go off, and away we go with the Wild Rose Gin. 100 kilometers here at Killarney. That is 31 laps around Killarney International Raceway. It's now approaching 10 to 1, so it's 31 laps that's going to be done, and it is Steve Humble that leads going into turn number 2 with Craig Jarvis and the Ginetta right in there behind him. Then Clinton Thorne sits there in that third position, and it looks like it might be Francis Carruthers, if I'm not mistaken, that sits right in there behind Clinton Thorne. So there's a long, long way to go. We've only done a half a lap in this 100 kilometers of Killarney here, called the Wild Rose Gin 100 kilometers.
Yeah, we'll watch them go down the back straight now, Frankie. We'll try and keep you updated with all the classes. But here comes the Steve Humble, who is not only the overall leader, but also the leader of Class A as far as things are concerned. He's ahead of Davy Hubert in the Porsche 911. Then Carruthers comes through in his Pearl Beam. Those are all Class A entries. Clinton Thorne is 4th in class at this time. Well, he's 4th in class. Coming up, of course, that is the Lotus 7 Toyota with the win. And he's actually ahead of Francis Carruthers as they cross the line. So Carruthers will find himself in 4th position. 3rd will be Clinton Thorne. Humble. Jarvis, though, has stuck the nose ahead once again and he currently leads in what is Class S in the Ginetta.
Right, so Craig Jarvis leads them from Steve Humble in 2nd, then Clinton Thorne, followed there by Francis Carruthers. Then it's Divan Lasmore that sits there behind Carruthers. Then we've got Yanni Hatzi coming through. Behind him, it's Gavin Gorman. Right in the case, that's coming out of turn number 2. Behind Gavin Gorman is Eric Salomon. Ray Farnham is in there as well. Henny Bosman, whole group of them that's making its way through there into turn number 3, into Interceptor Corner. And as they go into Interceptor Corner, the leader is heading into turn 5 into Pertamina Fastron.
Well, that's 2 laps down, 29 laps left to go. Let's actually take a look through the field at the moment now. Class C, 5th position is led by Divan Lasmore, number 99 350Z. Yanni Hatsi, is 2nd in class, ahead of Eric Salomon. The leader goes into turn 1 at the moment. That is Craig Jarvis, who leads overall and class, the only class S runner in the race. And looks like a move is being made by the Pearl Beam in turn 1. And that will be, of course, Francis Carruthers versus Clinton Thorne. Clinton Thorne will hold the 3rd place for now. You'll see on the screen, and onto the Joubert straight. He'll then run. He'll look on the outside once again, but I think what happens is he's not going to make any sort of a move at this particular moment in time.
Yeah, I'm having a look at this little fight that's making its way. That's the one you see on your screen there, going through the kink into turn number 3, into Interceptor Corner. And that is the fight there between Clinton Thorne and Francis Carruthers as they head up the Tygerberg Straight towards Sarl Sweep. That's turn 4, the double right-hander, which of course is the highest point of Killarney International Raceway. They make their way down the back main, and that is heading towards turn number 5 into Fastron Corner, and that is that fight. But look at the power of the Pearl Beam as it sits right up on the inside there of Clinton Thorne, and Carruthers coming out of turn 5 takes that position away there, Byron, from Clinton Thorne out of Fastron.
I'm just looking towards turn 4 at the moment, Frankie. Yanni Hatzi is going very slowly. I remember last time in the standard 10 lapper, he was having a serious misfiring motor over there for the 200 SX. It goes down the back straight now. The number 28 will watch him as they come by. Meanwhile, a 1:12.117, fastest lap of the race for Craig Jarvis, and that's the number 68, Ginetta G57, and he's broken up a gap of almost 7 seconds over Steve Humble as Gavin Gorman crosses the line already, 14.8 seconds back off of Divan Lasmore. Divan Lasmore is currently still leading the Class C section ahead of Gorman. Ray Farnham currently leads Class D in 7th position. He made his way now ahead of Eric Salomon.
Well, let's have a look and see as he makes his way out of turn number 5 at a Fastron Corner, the overall leader, which is Craig Jarvis, if he can beat the 1:12.117. It's a clear track ahead of him. No, still a 112, 117. So that is the quickest it is gone around here. As coming through now is going into turn number 1. That's Steve Humble in the Mallock. And then heading towards turn 1 is Francis Carruthers in that Pull B, making his way under the City of Cape Town Bridge. That's first, second and third, and he is now pulling away from Clinton Thorne. That's heading towards us, and then Divan Lasmore crosses the line, working his way into turn 1. That's a lovely sounding Nissan 350Z 6-cylinder of Divan Lasmore. And then down the main straight, as I watch and look back towards turn number 5, towards Fostron, Gavin Gorman is coming into view. As Gavin Gorman makes his way around, then the rest of the guys come through. Ray Farnham, Eric Salomon, and then the 42 coming through there as well. That is
Kilbride.
Connor Kilbride coming through. Then 3 more cars heading into turn number 1. And that will be Henny Bosman will lead that one through there. And then we've got Gavin Erasmus. And then let's see if the 77 car is out there.
Yanni Hutzi is, going 28, sorry Frankie. Yanni Hutzi, the number 28 200 SX is pulled into the pits.
Yeah, the 77 I was talking about is Simeon Panev. And as Byron was saying, Hutzi is retiring that 200 SX Nissan of his. So that's all over sadly there for Yanni Hutzi.
Here comes Francis Carruthers across the line now. Third position, a distant third position, 16.6 seconds in all from Steve Humble. And not having the best of times, Clinton Thorne in that Toyota. Oh, something doesn't sound right over there with that Lotus 7. And what happens is, there goes the 350Z of Lasmore. It sounds lovely, that Lasmore car, but it is having a puff of smoke every time he goes now into turn 1. I see it. And yeah, Clinton Thorne, I think his days are numbered in this race.
Yeah, we've already lost 1 car, and we don't really want to lose any more. There was only 13 cars that took to the grid because Davi Hubert in the 18 Porsche did not make it out there. So only 13 cars. As the leader comes through once again and does a 111.621 going into turn number 1. The Ginetta car number 68 of Craig Jarvis. And then he's going to pick up a couple of back markers already. He's going to pick up Eric Salomon. And ahead of Eric Salomon is Ray Farnham. He's going to catch those guys, as well as Erasmus. Salomon backs right out of it. Through the kink they go. And he goes past Erasmus there in turn number 3 into Interceptor corner. And Ray Farnham in the Birkin 7 just stays right out the way there because he knows there's not a damn thing he can do to keep that Ginetta behind him.
Well, Clinton Thorne for the time being stays out. And
doesn't sound too healthy, does it?
Does not sound too healthy at all there, Frankie. That engine doesn't sound great. And he's still keeping it on the circuit. Maybe he's just trying to see, you know, give a bit of feedback when he does come into the pits. But well, that is down in, I'm just trying to see now where actually he is currently sitting. And that is in position at the moment ahead of Gavin Gorman. Gavin Gorman currently second in Class C. And then Ray Farnham has just come through our section now. Ray Farnham, Gavin Gorman is ahead of him. And then Connor Kilbride in that Nissan. He's also a Class D, running second in Class D. Gavin Erasmus third in Class D. Simeon Pinev in Class C. And Eric Salomon has fallen a few places now. I just want to see if there's no problems over there with him. But I see Henny Bosman, Frankie, still in this race as well in that Mazda Lotus 7.
Yeah, Henny Bosman, Mr. Karate SA. He's Henny Bosman. I think he's one of a few, if not the only South African to have gone up in the dance of karate. And a man that you didn't want to mess around with a couple of years ago because you wouldn't know who you were when he was finished with you, that's for sure. And a well-known name in karate circles in South Africa.
Well, Clinton Thorne still soldiers on though, and he is in 5th position at the moment. I'm just trying to take a look now at the time he is losing because Gavin Gorman will be coming up. Craig Jarvis comes across the line, 1:11.103. his fastest lap of the race, the fastest lap of the race, and quite a bit of time there ahead of the second place man, who's coming down behind some back markers over here. That is Steve Humble. Steve Humble comes across the line then, 21.733 seconds back with a best time of a 1:14.983. And then we wait for Francis Carruthers in that third position, but also second in the Class A section.
Well, heading towards turn number 2 now, we've got Gavin Gorman, and right behind Gavin Gorman we have got Ray Farnham working their way out of turn 2. They were just lapped there by Steve Humble in the Mallock. So Gorman making his way through the kink, racing towards turn number 3 into Interceptor Corner. And he's got that 9 car of Ray Farnham right there with him. And then Gavin Erasmus is also out there on circuit. Gavin Erasmus, of course, in that 350Z, in that fight on track, you see that he is just in there behind them as they go down the back main. So we'll keep an eye on that one. That's actually the 42 car, I lie. That is not Gavin Erasmus. That is Connor Kilbride, I do apologize, as they work their way down into turn number 5. And that is a fight for track position there between Gorman, Farman and Kilbride. Erasmus is actually making his way down the back straight now, but this is a fight for 6, 7 and 8 that's making its way underneath the City of Cape Town Bridge, heading into turn number 1, and that's between Gavin Gorman that's going through there, and then Farnham and Kilbride.
Well, we just got a radio check now that a rear wheel has been lost by the Opel Mallock. I have to see now where he is. He's going now.
There's a lot of dust there in turn 1, so I've got a funny feeling it might be there in turn number 1. I see dust and I see marshals running there, and the safety car has been deployed. The safety car board is out here at the exit of pit lane, so the safety car has been deployed. Now remember, Byron, that the laps count under safety car.
Yes, that they do. There is the Opel Mallock that's parked at the side of the circuit at turn 1, and it looks like that Steve Humble is all right. He's walking away from his stricken vehicle.
Yeah, no, Steve is fine. Also a man that campaigns, as Byron said earlier on, in the rallycross testing that we have at Killarney. We're not running club championships yet, so it's classified as rallycross testing. Believe me, they race it as hard as if it was a club championship, that I can promise you. But still classified as rallycross testing, and he is very active. As a matter of fact, I think he's the chairman of the Killarney Rallycross section.
Well, like Frankie said, all these laps count towards the race. It's all under safety car conditions. There is the Kia Carnival that is ready to go out. Just wait to pick up the leader, but I think the leader has gone past in this case. There comes Phil Herald, and it just shows you how quickly something can happen over here. I was just about to say that Clinton Thorne has also pulled out of the race in that winged Toyota Lotus, and that's only going to mean 10 of them are left as far as things are concerned. Actually 9. Safety car going to be out for 2 laps, and then we'll carry on. So luckily it's not going to be a long period safety car. There is now the Janetta behind Devon Lusmore.
Oh, the safety car is busy making its way into turn number 5, into Pertamina Fostron corner. And your leader is making his way into turn number 1, into Holzhoek. The Janetta G57 of Craig Jarvis is working his way into turn number 1, into Holes. And the safety car is in turn 5 in Fostron, slowing right down. There's a group of cars that's heading towards that safety car at this point in time. Gavin Gorman, Ray Farnham, and Connor Kilbride. They are heading, Byron, towards the safety car.
There is an investigation, I've heard, though, from Tiny, that Ray Farnham, car number 9, the Lotus 7, is under investigation for passing the number 16 Gavin Gorman in the Nardini under yellow flags. So that could be a penalty being handed out there. But remember, it hasn't been confirmed yet. It's only being investigated.
Well, if he did that, he's given that position back to Gorman, because he sits there behind Gavin Gorman and just ahead of Connor Kilbride. So that's a group of cars that has been picked up there by the safety vehicle. Francis Carruthers has also rejoined onto the back end of that group, or should I say joined onto the back end of that group in the pull beam, as the rest of the cars just work their way around to catch up to the back end of that safety car. Devan Lasmore is in there as well, so is Gavin Erasmus, and it looks like it is Henny Bosman that is the last car in that train that's working its way through the kink and into turn 3 interceptor corner. Only 7 cars. Now there's more. There's a lot more actually coming past us. There's about 9 cars out on track. Could even be more than 9. I think it's only just 9. We have lost a few. As a matter of fact, it is Lasmore that's making his way into turn number 1. But there are quite a few 350Zs out there on the track. Tell you now, Gavin Erasmus has got a 350Z. Connor Kilbride's got one. Then Simeon Panev has got a 350Z. And then Devan Lasmore. So there are 4 350Zs out there on track. Lovely to see these Nissan 350Zs. Now those Nissan 350Z motors was used in the Shelby Can-Am series that was known, it was called the Vodacom Sports Prototypes back in the day, and then they changed the name to the Shelby Can-Am series.
Yeah, all using the 3.5.
But they originally had the Dodge motor in there, and then they found out that motor, that specific motor wasn't very reliable, and then the drivers opted for the Nissan 350Z 6-cylinder motor.
So away we go, safety car in, and we're back to green flag racing once again. And 19 laps left to go in this race. The leader is still Craig Jarvis. He is currently ahead there of Francis Carruthers by a full minute, basically, full minute and a half almost ahead there of Carruthers. Remember, they didn't have any time right behind the safety car for Craig Jarvis, but we'll see them all now as they come out in their first full racing lap. And then Devan Lasmore looks like he's up into 3rd place overall. Remember, the Sports and GT cars C class. And then that's ahead of Gavin Gorman. It's Ray Farnham that leads Class D in the number 9 Lotus Opel Birkin 7. I should rather say the replica, Lotus 7 replica. Ahead there of Connor Kilbride in the 350Z. So we have 350Zs spread over a number of classes.
Yeah, well, the Janetta is going down the back straight and into turn number 5. That is your leader. And there's a lot of cars out there that's been lapped. So as they come out of turn 5, not necessarily the way you see them on the track, or on the track, not necessarily see them on the leaderboard, I should say. Lasmore is heading into turn number 1, and he sits there in that 3rd position, and only about 2 or so cars behind him is your leader. Francis Carruthers is making his way now into turn number 2 is Carruthers. This is the man that's sitting in 2nd position overall, and he's going to be caught and lapped there by the Janetta that now laps the Nardini of Gavin Gorman. That is Craig Jarvis, of course. And into turn 3, interceptor corner, the man that's sitting in that 2nd position as they race up towards turn number 4, that is Francis Carruthers. He's going to be lapped there by the race leader before they get into turn 5, into Fostron corner. Down the back, man, they go. That's 1st and 2nd, but it's a 2nd place man that's been lapped by your overall leader as they head into turn 5, Fostron.
Yeah, for the first time, Carruthers now will go a full lap down on the Ginetta of Craig Jarvis. So Craig Jarvis, he'll be visibly at the front, and he is as far as laps and distance completed. And 16 laps left to go in this particular race. And Francis Carruthers, like I say, goes through. We wait now. Gavin Gorman in 4th position, second in Class C. Devon Lasmore, he should be coming up shortly. Here he comes now. That is the leader of Class C, that number 99. And then, like I say, Gavin Gorman, Ray Farnham in 5th position, leader of Class D. Connor Kilbride in 6th position, 7th, and then 8th position, Simeon Penev. Now, is Henny Bosman going to come through? Do I see him out there somewhere? The Mazda Rotary Lotus 7?
Well, before we go to that, going through the kink right now, there is, or should I say there are, a couple of 350Z Nissans going out on the circuit, and lovely to see them all together. Not necessarily the way they are on the leaderboard, although I will say that Kilbride is there ahead of Erasmus, and they are going down the back lane. They're going to be overtaken there by, it might be Lasmore. Yes, it is Devon Lasmore, 99. That's going to overtake them. But the point I'm trying to make here is it's lovely to see all those 350Zs nose to tail going down the back straight into turn number 5.
It looks like a lovely production car race there.
It does, eh?
There, Frankie. So there we go. Look at them nose to tail with each other. That is Lasmore and Kilbride, I think it is.
Yes, and then catching up to them now is Erasmus. But remember that Erasmus is chasing after Kilbride because Devon Lasmore is further down the road. He's busy putting a lap on them, as a matter of fact. He's Devon Lasmore, and he's gone past Connor Kilbride, and then not too far behind Connor Kilbride is the 41 of Gavin Erasmus.
I see, thankfully, Henny Bosman is still well and truly in the race. He is 9th position at the moment, and he's just off of Simeon Penev, of course, the of the 350Zs. That was Craig Jarvis coming through onto the next lap, putting in some more modest lap times here, the 1:10.889 as opposed to the 1:10.567, which is the fastest lap, having completed those 17 laps. Then, having completed 16 laps, of course, a lap down is the Pilbeam PM84 of Francis Carruthers, who leads Class A.
Yeah, he's doing mid 110s, 110.5 by Craig. That is the quickest lap that he's done out there. And he's done, as I said, a 108 in that car around the Killarney already. So, yeah, the laps are beginning to unwind. There are 14 laps out there, and only about 13 cars out there. It's a pity we didn't get the 18 car come out onto the track of Davy Hubert. And he's in the Rembrandt Racing Walrose Jim Porsche, but yeah, that car did not make it out onto the circuit, so the 18 car of Davy Hubert did not take part. There's trouble in turn 2. There's trouble in turn 2. Gavin Gorman has spun the Nardini. He's got the car going again, but he had a problem there, Byron, in turn 2 in Quarry Corner.
Yeah, I think he's got, is that Connor Kilbride behind him there?
I think that's
Gavin Erasmus.
Erasmus, yes.
And then Henny Bosman has made his way past Simeon Penev as well. So up into 8th position. Simeon Penev is last in 9th position. Only 9 cars left in this race. Initially, 14 were to start. Davy Hubert did not even take the start of this race at DNS. And then Yanni Hatzi, Eric Salomon, Clinton Thorne, and Steve Humble all out of the race.
Yeah, the Craig Jarvis Ginetta has lapped each and every single car at least once. As coming down the main straight now is Devon Lasmore. That car sounds very beautiful, that's for sure. It's a lovely sounding car there. Ray Farnham coming past us. So is Connor Kilbride, and so is Gavin Gorman as he goes into turn number 1. Then Gavin Erasmus is coming through as well. Remember, not all these cars on the lead lap. Henny Bosman coming through, and then he's going to be lapped once again there into turn number 1 by your overall race leader Gavin Gorman, and then not too far behind them, working his way out at turn number 1, is a 77 of Simeon Panev.
Yes, Panev, number 77, 350Z, and well, he's Gavin Erasmus, of course, a little bit further up the road, and he's 350Z. Craig Jarvis crossed the line already. Francis Carruthers will do likewise. Leader of Class A, Devon Lismore. Lasmore, I should rather say. He prefers it that way. He mentioned it once to me. That's third position in the number 99 Nissan, and he's yet to cross the line once more. And that will also be to complete 18 racing laps. Craig Jarvis having completed 19 of them. Ray Farnham in fourth position still. And that's the number 9 Opel Birkin 7 2-litre motor running. And then Connor Kilbride, the other of the top Nissan 350Zs, ahead of Gavin Gorman. Remember, Gavin Gorman had that spin at turn 2. And, well, got to recover again, but Craig Jarvis is now putting a lap on Connor Kilbride, and into turn 1 he'll run.
So, leading Class S is Craig Jarvis. Leading Class A is Francis Carruthers. Leading Class C is Gavin Gorman, and leading Class D is Farnham, Ray Farnham. He leads Class D. That's your class leaders. The leader has done 20 laps. There's 11 laps to go. The quickest man out there in a 1:10.567 is your race leader in car 68. The Janetta, being powered around here by Craig Jarvis. That is the fastest time out there. And this is the Wild Rose Gin 100 kilometers of Killarney, with about 10.5 laps left to go.
Yeah, 100 kilometers in all. We've had a number of these over the last few years, sponsored by various different organizations and businesses. This time, Wild Rose Gin has taken up the mantle, as that was Lasmore that came across the line then. And does it sound like that Janetta is actually slowing it down rather and taking it easier? That last lap was a 1:12.697.
Oh, there's trouble in turn 3. There's trouble in turn 3. Is that the pull beam? There's a problem in turn number 3, and Frankie, that looks like the pull beam.
It's raining.
Well, yeah, that car is fine. If you have a look, there's a car standing sideways in Interceptor corner. And another car's going off. It's wet out there. I think it might be a touch of water on the circuit. Another car going off there in turn number 1. The change of surface flag is out. It's raining here at Killarney International Raceway, and that is the reason that we've got cars aquaplaning all over the place.
Oh no, that is definitely, like you say, and look at that. There's a Lotus 7 into the gravel at turn 1, Frankie, like we were saying.
That's the one I'm saying,
that's
yes.
Eddie Bosman. That's now found himself in the dust and dirt over there. But yes, it just shows you it's such a fine rain initially. You couldn't see it from where we are. And then suddenly you look, it's like a confetti that just comes down. And it's now, that just shows you how quickly things can change. That's why Craig Jarvis was slowing down at a tremendous rate.
Yeah, well, that you picked that one up and you said, man, is there something wrong with the car? But it's not. Nothing wrong. It's the surface conditions that change. The track surface has changed because of the water. And Jarvis is making his way past us again. This change of surface flag is still out, and the marshals were working frantically. I just initially saw the pull beam stand square on the outside of turn 3 of Interceptor corner. The pull beam is back up and running again, people. That I can tell you. It's making its way to turn number 1. That is Francis Carruthers. So that car has been rescued and is going again. But Lotus 7, I presume it's Henny Bosman that is there in trouble on the right-hand side of the track before you go into the left-hand turn number 1. So safety cars being deployed, and we will slow this one down once again. Byron, I don't think this rain's going to continue, because for the people around the track, the people at home won't see this. Table Mountain's completely open. The hill between Blouberg and Melkbos is open. Lots of blue sky out there and very high clouds. I think this is just an isolated shower. Well, that's what I'm hoping, yes.
9 laps left to go in this race, though, Frankie, and it is a wet circuit, just like Murray Walker used to say. It's raining and the track is wet.
Murrayism.
I'm telling you, let me tell you, one of our icons all,
Now remember, as we said, it does count the laps under the safety car, so there is 9 laps left on our monitor system here, so they might end this one under safety car. They could possibly, because the rain is basically gone. The rain is basically gone, slightly dripping out there, so the rain, I think, is going to stop within the next 2 or 3 minutes, but it's done enough to make the track very, very slippery indeed, as the breakdowns go out to recover the car that is in trouble there in turn 1.
It is Henny Bosman. I see a blue circle next to his name.
Yes.
Frankie, that's the Mazda Wankel Lotus 7. And, well, I'll tell you one thing. My thought also would be that this race would probably end under safety car conditions, because the track is going to be wet for a little while.
Yeah. And like Tiny said to us, he got confirmation about 80% of the cars that's still left on circuit is all on slick tires.
So it makes absolute sense to do that, but they'll trundle around on these laps, which do count towards the race itself. You can see Craig Jarvis out there still. You can see that it is Francis Carruthers in the pull beam, the likes of Divan Lasmore.
Well, he was lucky to get back on track again, Carruthers, because he was the first car that I saw going off in turn 3 in Interceptor corner, and he got that car going again. But Henny Bosman sadly was not that lucky, as the safety car now makes its way down the back straight, and he has picked up the race leader. He's picked up Craig Jarvis, and behind Craig Jarvis, second place man, which will now not be Carruthers. Carruthers is second on track, yes, but he's not second overall. Divan Lasmore is in that second position, and Divan is trying to find a way. He's not in that train of cars going down the back straight yet. Or easy? No, he's not.
Light drizzle, turns 1, 2, and 5.
So that means there's no rain in turn 3 and 4 and the Tygerberg Straight, well, which means it's going away.
Or you can have your beach holiday there, rather.
Yeah, I'd rather have a holiday in turn 3 and 4.
But, yes,
but don't have holiday in turn 5. It's wet there.
It's wet, unless you want a nice winter wonderland over there, maybe. But let me tell you one thing. It's like when they talk about Spa and they talk about the Nürburgring raining on one side of the circuit. But those are long, long circuits. We're talking about, 3.2 kilometer circuit that's having rain in various corners. And that just shows you...
3.267, just under 3.3. And it is, like you said, I got my arm out the window here. And I can tell you people, the people on the track would know, but those at home, it's not raining anymore.
I don't think you're far enough out, Frankie. I think just go a little bit more.
Yes, you want you to fall out the window. That's what he wants me to do.
We need the accurate weather report as far as things. Tiny is always our good report man.
Now, Tiny and myself do storm chasing when you got thunder and lightning out there. Yeah, no, it's crazy, eh? Change the surface flag still out, obviously. Safety car still out, obviously. As a couple of the 350Zs go through, Simeon Panev is one. The one just behind him is your man that's sitting in second position into turn number 1, and that is Divan Lasmore. So Divan Lasmore, that's sitting second place overall, is coming out of turn number 1 with Simeon Panev.
The sunshine, Frankie, coming through the clouds.
Yeah, well, that was just a weird little downpour that we had. There is rain predicted for tomorrow, though. And I was hoping that it would be only tomorrow and not today. This is just a strange one that came through. But, yeah. This happens all the time in endurance racing. Lamar, how many Lamars haven't we had? Sunshines, then it rains. That Kyalami 9 hour we had a couple of years ago. Beautiful sunshine, and in the night time it was thunder, lightning and storming rain. And you were, yes, I know, you were at that event.
I'm telling you, the rainstorm that came over there, you almost want to take your boat out, your canoe.
Yeah.
That's how heavy the rain was. And it was an hour and a bit under safety car that we had to run.
But Byron, you were there. That was an absolute storm.
Oh, it was an absolute storm. Let me tell you one thing. You know, we are known for winter rain here in Cape Town. Well, traditionally it was like that. And then up in Gauteng, in the northern regions on the Highveld, it's all summer rains. And the rain there belts. It just belts down. If you've never experienced that before in your life, it's quite a shocking first experience.
Right, the safety car is off the circuit, so we back under racing again. The change of surface flag will stay out, so we are back to racing once again. The safety car has pulled off, and we have got 6 laps to do before we see the checkered flag. But I can tell you the times will come down dramatically. The lap times will come down. The leader is taking them through turn number 2. That is Craig Jarvis. The second place man is only going into turn 2 now. Remember that these guys are all lapped at least once by the leader, and other cars have been lapped by other cars. So going past Ray Farnham now and making his way into turn number 3, into Interceptor Corner, is Divan Lasmore, and he's effectively sitting there in that second position. But there's a lot of cars between himself and the overall leader that's coming out of turn number 4 right now, Sarl Sweep. And of course, I'm talking about Craig Jarvis in that Janetta.
All right, just looking at my headphones over here, Sudhir Matai helping me quite nicely out over there, the wizard. And well, we come now into the last 5 laps coming up now for this race. Craig Jarvis, as Frankie has been pointing out as well, having completed 25 laps of this race. 31 lapper it is going to be. He still leads in that Janetta G57. But Divan Lasmore, that's a turn up for the books over here in second position. The number 99, basically the king of the 350Zs as well. And he still holds it in there. And having completed 25 laps, and he'll be an additional lap ahead of Francis Carruthers. Gavin Gorman still holding in there. So everybody, basically the top 4, all on different laps from each other. Connor Kilbride still on the same lap as Gavin Gorman. And then Gavin Erasmus also having completed 23 laps. Ray Farnham, leader, not leader of Class D anymore though. It's Gavin Erasmus that is the Class D second place man, and Connor Kilbride leads Class D in the 350Z.
Okay, I'm looking at something out the commentary box window, Byron. Your leader is making its way out of turn 3, out of Interceptor Corner. Then you got third place man right behind him, which is Francis Carruthers. Then you got second place that is coming up there behind Carruthers, and that is Divan Lasmore. So 1, 2, and 3 are on the track going down the back main, but obviously that's not the way they are on the leaderboard. As a matter of fact, Jarvis has lapped everybody oodles of times in that G57 Janetta.
Well, so 9 of them in all left. Henny Bosman, unfortunately, I don't know if they actually pushed him out and got him going again, or did they take him back to the pits, because he is registering on the system over here, but I speak under correction over there. Simeon Penev, number 8, of course, the Nissan that he's campaigning in 8th position at this time. As 4 laps now left to go. Craig Jarvis, Divan Lasmore, and Francis Carruthers all crossing the line. Gavin Erasmus comes through as well, second in Class D. That's an East Nissan, so we have 2 Nissans leading Class D, and then Ray Farnham in Birkin 7. But it looks like he's been passed now somewhere along the line. So, yeah, and there we go. Penev still in 7th at the moment. Gavin Erasmus here ahead of him. Ray Farnham now looking like he's fallen down to the 8th position.
Well, the change of surface has really gone and thrown the cat amongst the pigeons here, because Craig Cricker's time was a 1:10.567 and his last lap was a 1:31.420. that is exactly what this little downpour was gone and done. And being out there on